Let's talk TNF between the Eagles and the Texans. Eagles minus 800 on the money line. Spread huge, double digit minus 14, over under 45. Eagles are 7-0 straight up, 5-2 against the spread. The over 4-3. Texans 1-5-1 straight up, 3-3-1 against the spread, and the under is 4-3. I will say that Davis Mills is 3-0 as a double-digit underdog in his career. The Phillies did just cover an 11.5-point favorite, so they have covered double digits. Man, what do you think of this one, Ian?
Yeah, I will say it takes a lot for me to lay double-digit points in a game. I need it to be a top 5 team against a bottom 5 team. I like to be contrarian. I'd love to take the Texans here, but I just have to go with the Eagles. They're just too good. I think the Texans have also proved that they are the worst team in the NFL. I was super disappointed with them against the Titans last week. They couldn't move the ball against the Titans team
at all. Couldn't stop Derrick Henry. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what the Eagles need to do here to cover this double-digit spread is get back to the run game, because they did air it out last week to success, to be fair. But this is the run defense is the weakness of this Texans team. The Eagles should be able to run the ball against them. They're 31st in opponent yards per carry, allowing an average of 5.6 yards per rush. And the Eagles, by the way, very good on third down, which I think is going to be big, especially in covering this big of a spread. 4th and third down conversion rate, converting 45.45% of their third down opportunities. Texans, like almost every stat, bottom 5 in that 30th and third down conversion rate. So I will say, I do like the Eagles to cover here. The only thing that makes me nervous, though, and it's something that not a lot of people are talking about, is they're struggling to stop the run. So if Dameon Pierce kind of gets going in this game and the Texans stick to the run game, things could get a little bit sketchy.
I agree. So you're taking Eagles minus 14. I think that they'll cover that too, but I'm a little bit scared to take, especially because these Thursday night games have been bizarro world and so weird. So I'm taking the Eagles in the first half, minus 7.5, just over a touchdown. Slightly better odds on Caesars, minus 105. Philly is the best first half team in the NFL, averaging 21 points per game. They have 147 total points in the first half of games so far this season. Those points drop down to just 49 points in the second half. Houston averages only 6.3 points. So I think they get out early. You know, they'll definitely be over a touchdown, and then hopefully they cover the full game. Is there any prop bets that you're looking at?
Yeah, prop bet I'm looking at, name I mentioned a little bit earlier, Dameon Pierce here for the Texans, because like I said, if there's one thing that they can do, they should actually be able to run the ball against this Eagles defense. 29th in opponent yards per carry. Eagles defense allowing 5.1 yards per rush. So if there's a hole on this Eagles team, it is their run defense. And Dameon Pierce is averaging 77 yards a game. So that's well over his set total of 61.5. He's also already exploited some teams with bad run defenses. He's taken on the Chargers this year, who are another team who can't stop the run, and he ran for 131 yards on 14 carries. So if he gets anywhere close to that level of performance against the Eagles, I think he goes over this total. So I like Dameon Pierce and over 61.5 rushing yards.
I love that as well. And speaking of defenses, they can't stop the run. Neither can the Texans. They surrender 186 yards per game. So I'm taking a couple Jalen Hurts props. I like him for an anytime touchdown, and I also like him over his rushing at 41.5 yards. He's averaging over this mark already this season at 43.3 yards per game, and he has 6 rushing touchdowns through 8 weeks. So I like him to get a touchdown here. We think this is going to be a blowout, certainly him on the goal line, and I like him over his rush prop as well. Is there any other prop you're looking at?
Yeah, another rushing touchdown bet here. I'll go Miles Sanders minus 140. I mean, it's chalky. To be honest, I wish I could. I wanted to go like Kenneth Gainwell or Boston Scott, but I'm looking at their numbers. It's like, who are either of them going to get goal line carries? Miles Sanders has been the feature back. Maybe one of them will, but which one? Is it going to be Gainwell or is it going to be Scott? So instead of risking it on one of those two, which you can risk it because they're like 4-1, 5-1, much better odds. But I'll play the safe route here, which I don't like doing, but I'll go Miles Sanders. Score a touchdown, minus 140. And also, not only are the Texans giving up a lot of yards, but they're allowing 1.4 rushing touchdowns per game, which is the 4th most in the NFL. So I think any kind of rushing touchdown tonight for the Eagles is probably a good bet.
Let's go. That just helps me with my Jalen Hurts prop as well. I'm also looking at A.J. Brown over 4.5 receptions tonight. The guy has not had under 5 receptions at all, except for one time this year. That was versus Washington. I feel like he's a little fired up too. He's not happy with Roger Goodell about being drug tested. So I think he's going to want to come out and be just as dominant as he was last week. So I'm going to take him over on his receptions prop.